From a pitching perspective, I think some of the main challenges facing the ad industry at the moment are, for clients, there's a huge choice of agencies and there's a lot of information out there that needs to be sifted through before they can find the right agency. There's a lot of organisations that can help them do that, from intermediaries to the IPA, but I think that managing the choice is a huge issue for clients and a huge pool to be waded through for them. And for the ad industry itself, in the pitching environment, it's got more and more competitive. With this plethora of choice, that means that you have more competition, and also decoupling has led to a different type of pitch and a different type of pitch arena.
The main challenges facing the ad industry right now are globalisation and convergence. So the businesses that we work for are expecting more from their agencies globally. The ad industry itself is globalising and converging. And from a channel point of view, the work that we're doing is converging too. And all of those things put new and novel pressures on the businesses that we work for, but they also represent opportunities as well for the agencies and the networks that can adapt effectively to that.
Well, it does seem to be a trend for more and more investment in pitching time, resource. You know, the scope of work is getting bigger, particularly for us. We're doing more and more big integrated pitches. You might be looking at end-to-end customer journey work throughout the pitch. So, you know, in terms of what you're being asked to deliver, it's enormous, but also there has been a bit of an emergence of the procurement-led pitch delivered by a portal, where, you know, you might be asked to supply strategy, costs, or even creative online at long list stage, which is quite controversial. There's a emergence of, I suppose, procurement-led pitches from clients, and there are good ones, you know, SIPs members who are trained in procurement for marketing specifically, quite different to some of the procurement experts potentially running a pitch who are used to buying other services, not marketing. So there's definitely a change in what we're being asked to submit.
I think there's a variety of models for pitching at the moment, and I think the IPA have done a lot of work in the good pitch practice philosophy that they've put together, and also the good pitch website, identifying different ways of pitching. And I think the future will look different, because I think clients can pitch in different ways. The traditional model of RFI, RFP, chemistry meeting, pitch meeting, assignment, that can be shortened, it can be lengthened, it can be halved. There are lots of ways to massage that process that may benefit clients more and may end up benefiting agencies as well.
Some clients, when they're engaging agencies in a pitch, if it's the first time they've done it, might not realise how much time and effort is required on their part as well as on the agency's part. And particularly if you're putting together a very long list, it's going to be absolutely exhausting for a client to run that list.
Right now, I think that the model of agency pitching is under enormous pressure. We're having to engage actually in fewer pitches that are larger in terms of scale. The entire process is taking longer because of the influence of procurement. And what that means is that the model that clients still like to enjoy, which is inviting large numbers of agencies, perhaps going on little fishing expeditions, begins to really fundamentally disrupt the agency business model. So I think actually something is going to have to change going forward.
I think it's a difficult process. Many clients have only done it once, or sometimes it's their first time they're ever reviewing. So it's much more difficult for them than for an agency who's pitched many times. And I think some of the biggest mistakes are not being very narrow in the choice at first. Really sitting down and understanding what sort of agency a client wants. What do you want? What do you want them to do? So understanding what type of agency to talk to. You know, is it a brief for data? You know, is it a brief for design? Is it a brief for digital? Or is it a brief for everything? Really being crystal clear in that. Asking for help. Organisations like Isobar are fantastic to get help for clients, and they offer that help for free if you're a member. Talking to the IPA, again, they'll always help clients and help ask, or intermediaries, and going to those people can really help a client define what they want. Some of the biggest mistakes we've seen recently have been where clients are inviting, say, 60 agencies into a room to brief or to pitch. or asking agencies to supply creative work or end presentations without any consultation with the agency. Because if you want a fantastic result, if you want to work with the best agency for you, you need to be talking throughout the process.
One of the key challenges at the moment for clients is reducing complexity. Their lives have got increasingly complex as more silos have been added to the mix. And I guess one of the things for us is just to look at how we can help reduce that complexity, remove silos and make things simpler and cleaner for clients.
I think clients, being human, of course make mistakes around the pitching process. Primarily I think often it's around being really single-minded and certain about what you want the outcome to be and what it is that you're challenging agencies to do and to deliver. And that's exaggerated by the fact that pitch processes, when they involve multiple markets, multiple stakeholders, can become a little bit of a dumping ground for lots of people's requests and requirements around agencies. So that can be a struggle, but some clients are better than others around that.
I think procurement has changed the model. Absolutely, procurement are often the first port of call, and we heard today in 40% of the cases procurement are involved in the pitch process from the beginning. I think procurement are affecting it in a very positive way. There's often a better process with procurement involved. The process is more defined, clearer and often fairer, and I think procurement have also added another layer, so sometimes that can take a little bit longer.
Procurement's having a really significant influence and impact on the market and the new business process. Primarily it's around extending the process. Things are taking longer, more is required from the agency in terms of the rigour around their proposals and the depth that the agency needs to go into, which of course takes time and resource, which puts more pressure on the agency and makes it harder for us to plan.
So here at the Drum Live, I've got a list of the delegates here, and I'm going to go online and look for as much information as I possibly can, publicly available on websites about these people, give them to our actor Richard, who's going to try and convince them that they're old friends. The best thing about Georgie actually is